Okay, it's time to talk Liverpool season so far and the big tests that are to come from now on. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Yesterday's video is going to centre around Liverpool Football Club, top of the table Liverpool Football Club, who have enjoyed a perfect start or a near perfect start under their new head coach Arne Slot. It's been a brilliant start to the season, full of positives. A few negatives mixed in there, but more off the pitch stuff for negatives than on the pitch. It's been a brilliant start to the campaign. But as the Premier League is on the verge of returning, as the international break is almost over, this is really where Liverpool's tests will be coming. This is really where the intensity will turn up a few notches, and this is really where we will see how far this Liverpool side have actually come under Arne Slot. As big tests are on the horizon, there are big obstacles, big challenges, huge teams, and some incredible amount of intense scheduling that is set to come about between now and at least the beginning of December. And then, of course, depending on how well those tests have actually gone for Liverpool, we shall see from there if they will get even bigger, even more challenging, and beyond. Before we get into all of that, though, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it about Liverpool so far this season or even beyond this point. Would love to hear what you have to say. So please do use and abuse that comment section, people, and talk to me on Liverpool Football Club so far and beyond. Would love to hear what you have to say. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. Let's talk Liverpool Football Club. Let's talk the season that has been and gone, as well as the season that is yet to come. Like I say, it's been an almost perfect start for Liverpool. One blemish on the on the agenda so far. That was that defeat to Nottingham Forest. It's something that Arne Slot still seemingly can't really get over, despite the fact that before then it was amazing. It was almost perfect, and since then it has been perfect as well. So it does show you that that one blemish does kind of stay with him, but it also does show that it was just a bad day at the office. Liverpool had chances, they didn't take them, and ultimately in pushing for a winner, they left themselves open at the back, and Forest took advantage of that. And as I said during the match reaction to that game, Forest were deserved winners, and rightfully so. But since then, of course, Liverpool have been perfect. Wins in all competitions, wins in the Premier League, wins in the Carabao Cup, wins in the Champions League. It has been perfection as far as what Liverpool are concerned before and after that one bad result against Nottingham Forest. And I have nothing really bad to say about Liverpool, in all honesty. Yeah, there are maybe one or two little things that you can pick up on if you're really being nitpicky about, you know, maybe we should kill teams off. Maybe we shouldn't concede as many awkward chances as what we have done. I know we've only conceded 2 goals, and that is absolutely miraculous in itself. But those 2 goals, of course, could have been avoided. We've been brilliant. We really have been brilliant. And I'm cautious to say that too loudly, because every time I do say and put out these videos, often the next result is often the opposite of what I've been saying. If I berate a team and I kind of drag them through the mud a little bit, they go on to win their next game. If I praise them highly, normally what goes on to happen is they normally go on to lose their next game. So I'm cautious about doing this, but I have to say it, I have to speak it how it is. Liverpool have been brilliant. Now, of course, the counter-argument to that is, of course, Liverpool haven't been challenged. They haven't faced any member of the top half of the table yet. The only known Big Six team, or usual Big Six team that they face, is Manchester United. And of course, they're in the mud this season so far. So there is an argument to say, well, have Liverpool really been tested? Have Liverpool really been challenged by a top half member yet? Or even a team that is going for some sort of glory this season. Title challenge, Champions League, FA Cup, Europa League, anything like that along them lines. Have Liverpool really been challenged? And to that, I will say that every team poses a different challenge, but maybe not to the challenge that a lot of rival fans are shifting the goalposts on. People will say, oh, it's a bit of a banana skin, this is a banana skin, this is a banana skin. And then when we pass it with flying colours, everyone's like, oh yeah, but you were expected to beat them anyway. I see your point, but at the same time, I also think you are shifting goalposts, which is, yeah, a bit awkward in itself. What I will say is that whilst you can argue that there has been no serious challenge to Liverpool, I guess you could say, that you could make that argument, I guess. The tests are on the horizon, and they are coming thick and fast, and they will come thick and fast when the Premier League does resume. I'm just looking at Liverpool's fixtures between now and the next international break in November. Yeah, I hate that we've got another international break on the horizon as well. This weekend, we have Chelsea. Now, it is at Anfield, so, I mean, kind of a spoiler towards my predictions. I am somewhat expecting Liverpool to win that game at Anfield. If this was at Stamford Bridge, I may hold reservations. Despite the fact that Chelsea have been very, very good this season, and especially better than what a lot of people, including myself, were imagining Chelsea to be, I still would expect Liverpool to win that game. Then we have RB Leipzig in the Champions League. That's going to be a difficult test, especially with it being away from home. Then, a few days later, we're going up against Arsenal. Title challengers, title rivals, Arsenal, who are so far this season unbeaten and have been brilliant so far. Then we have Brighton in the Carabao Cup. We then face Brighton in the Premier League a few days later. We then have Leverkusen in the Champions League before facing Aston Villa in the Premier League on the final day before the international break of November. That is a horrific run for most teams. Even worse if you are Liverpool, and obviously you are. I mean, it's a horrific run for most teams anyway. Like, let's get that out of the way and done with. That is a horrible run in itself. It is awkward. It's full of awkward and difficult challenges. Chelsea will be awkward. We know that. We know that they're always awkward for us. They always seem to turn up against us, no matter what kind of run of form they're in. Last season, I guess, was a bit of a blip and a bit of an anomaly, I guess you could say. But normally, they are awkward whenever they face us because of the rivalry there. RB Leipzig, like I say, away from home could be awkward. Arsenal, we know how incredible they are. That is going to be a very, very tough test. Brighton, whether it be in the Carabao Cup or the Premier League, is going to be awkward in itself because we know how well drilled Brighton are. And even if they do go for a much rotated squad in the Carabao Cup, we know that they have got some good players in there, and we know, like I say, they are well drilled in all areas of all age groups. They are going to be on it right from the start, and it could be an early exit from our Carabao Cup defence in that one. The Premier League game, we know that they'll go more full strength. Again, it is at Anfield, so you probably would expect Liverpool to win, but with the way that they play football and with how they've started off the season really, really well, it could be a very awkward game for us. Leverkusen, that's going to be interesting with Xabi Alonso. Of course, when we're at home, we expect to win, especially on a Champions League night. Could be awkward. And then Aston Villa, again, another home game. You would expect to win, but it's Villa. It's awkward. We know how awkward an Unai Emery side can be. So there are some very difficult tasks in there. There are some very difficult challenges, each in their own unique way, that we will have to be wary of. And then when we're back from that international break, we have Southampton, we have Real Madrid, we have Manchester City, and then Newcastle, and then a Merseyside derby. That is between the dates of the 24th of November and the 7th of December. All of them are going to be awkward as well. Even the Southampton one, again, we should be beating Southampton. There's absolutely no doubt about it. But it could be a potential banana skin that we will need to deal with professionally and properly. We come through that, we go to Real Madrid. Champions League. Always going to be awkward in the Champions League, but we are at home, so maybe we should fancy our chances a little bit more of getting something in a game that obviously over the years hasn't exactly been too kind for us. Against Man City, at home, again, you're hoping the home crowd lifts it, and obviously with it being against a title rival, we should be okay. They're lacking a Rodri. We could benefit from that. A lot can happen during that time, of course it can, but that's always going to be an awkward game nonetheless. Always going to be an awkward game. Newcastle away is going to be awkward. We know how well drilled they are. We know that they've got some really good players in their midfield and attack especially, so we know that that's going to be difficult. And Everton away, we know the fans are going to be hostile, and we know the Everton players are going to turn up because this is their cup final at the end of the day. We know all of these games are going to be awkward. So this is really where it is time for these Liverpool players to stand up, be counted, and to prove a lot of the doubters wrong. If I've said from the start, I expect this team to challenge for the title. Not necessarily win it, but challenge for the title. I fully expect that from us this season. This isn't a kind run whatsoever. But this is obviously where title challenges are made. This is where title winners are made. And if we can come out of this with, I'm just looking at it now. A win on Saturday against Chelsea would be the perfect start. Get the Champions League out of the way and done with a win against Leipzig. 9 points from a potential 9. 3 wins out of 3. That would be perfect. Away from home at the Emirates, if we can get a draw there, that would be great. Wouldn't mind a Carabao Cup run this season, so why not go for it against Brighton? And then why not beat them a few days later at home at Anfield against the Seagulls there? Get the Champions League out of the way and done with, like I mentioned earlier, with a win against Leverkusen. A draw wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, considering if we did get 3 wins out of 3, but we are at home, so we should take initiative and advantage there. A win against Aston Villa at home. Beating Southampton should be a no-brainer. Against Real Madrid, a point at the very least, but again, because we're at home, take the initiative. Take it right to them and make it as awkward as possible and get that win. A point at the very least against Man City, but again, we're at home. Take the initiative, take the advantage, and make it as awkward as possible for Pep Guardiola and his men there. Newcastle, even though we're away from home, we should be winning that game. And obviously we should be beating Everton in a Merseyside derby. But like I say, we know how awkward those games can be. As long as we remain unbeaten, I won't have too much of an issue. I'd be concerned if we lost more than one game. We very well could go to an Arsenal, say, away from home and lose. That very well could be on the cards because, like I say, I'm not expecting Liverpool to win the title this season. Away from home at the Emirates could be awkward. But even so, they are still there for the taking. And I do believe that with Arne Slot at the helm, with the way that he's shown this season already, his flexibility, his adaptability, and with the way that we're a much more controlled side this season, I reckon we could play Arsenal at their own game and win. Or at least come away with a point. It's not going to be easy. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying we're going to walk this. And when I probably put out this video, it probably will backfire on me, as a lot of things kind of do. But I got a good feeling with this. I've got a good feeling with this run, and I think we are going to potentially prove a lot of doubters wrong. And I'm hoping that we are, but I have a feeling that I feel like we may prove a lot of doubters wrong. A lot of doubters that are saying we haven't faced any major tests yet. A lot of doubters that are saying, how far has this side really come? A lot of doubters that are saying, oh, but against better opposition, you won't be as good. A lot of doubters that are saying, oh, you'll fall away easily. I think we can make some real statements during this run. I feel like we really, really can. There are still a few negatives buzzing around the club. The contract situation of the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold, for example. I may do another video on that later on in the week. Mohamed Salah, of course, Virgil van Dijk. There's the injury to Alisson. Keeman Kelleher's going to have to step up big time during this run, and we've got to hope that obviously nothing bad happens to him. Yaros seems confident enough, but he's still a young goalkeeper at the end of the day, so I don't think we can really put too much stock in where he's been previously and all of that kind of stuff. So fingers crossed Kelleher remains fit, stays fit, and of course comes up trumps for us yet again, as he has done time and time again in the past. That's going to be the massive test for us. New goalkeeper in that back five. Are we going to be able to cope with it, especially in the bigger games? If this was at the start of the season, I'd have no problem whatsoever with Kelleher. I don't necessarily have too much of an issue with him, but going into these big games, of course, you'd want your better players. And with all due respect to Kelleher, he's not an Alisson, unfortunately, for him. But I still have confidence in him. I still have faith in him that he will still come up good when it matters most. He's still an adequate goalkeeper, one of the best secondary goalkeepers in the league right now. I'm really hoping that we can make some statements here. I'm hoping we can make some statements here. And like I say, we've got a brilliant chance of doing it. This is a run that not many people are expecting us to get a lot out of. This is a run that people are now licking their lips at and thinking, this could be the moment Liverpool fail. And this is going to be the moment where Liverpool fans are going to be throwing their toys out the pram and going crazy and screaming and moaning and crying again. I think we'll be able to prove a lot of people wrong. Starting this weekend against Chelsea on Sunday. Cannot wait for that one. But look, these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section. Would love to know what you guys are thinking and feeling down there in terms of Liverpool. So any of your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, I'm sure will make for great and interesting reading down there. So please do use and abuse that comment section, people. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video. And I'll see you speak with you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon.